Liverpool rocked by shock twists on and off the pitch. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for instant Reds updates, exclusives, and breaking alerts.
News headline: Liverpool set for a massive financial windfall. Liverpool are set for a massive financial break, but only if they choose to accept it, that is. Liverpool spent a truly incredible amount back in 2025, with over £400 million going out on new players. It was the kind of spend we've never seen at Anfield before, one where they were determined to shop at the very top table. Over £200 million did come in through player sales, but this was a summer investment like no other. It's a shame, then, that it hasn't entirely worked out. Liverpool have gone backwards, if anything, with this squad certainly not performing as well as the one of a year ago. Injuries haven't helped in that regard, however, as things are a little short across the squad. But then, spending £400 million and ending up short isn't exactly positive, nor is the fact that Liverpool will look to make some of that money back through more sales. With that in mind, there's one potential windfall that they won't want to say no to: the Mo Salah money. It's now quite clear that the Saudi Pro League will make an offer for Mo Salah later this year. Both The Telegraph and TalkSport are among those reporting as much. They're after a new star. Several high-profile players are out of contract this summer, such as Sadio Mane and Karim Benzema. There are also doubts over the long-term future of Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. While there's certainly a push to sign younger players and develop them into stars, there's no question that the SPL requires big-name players if they're to maintain interest in the league. They need something to tide people over until those players have developed, after all. And that's why they're chasing Salah. He's arguably the biggest name they could possibly sign this summer, and he'll still have a year left on his contract. That TalkSport report claims Liverpool insists that they want Salah to remain for the duration of his deal, but we're not certain that's entirely true. A massive offer from the SPL to end that deal early is on the way, and the Reds may just fancy taking it to balance the books on last summer. It would be a massive windfall for the books, too. Not only would the SPL pay a fee, potentially a sizable one, but Salah's salary would be freed up. It's an enormous saving in all, and one that Liverpool may just go for. News headline: Florentino Perez will gift-wrap £78 million Liverpool midfielder for Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool need to tread carefully over the future of Szoboszlai. Having impressed during the Premier League title-winning season in 2024-25, the 25-year-old has taken his game to new heights this term. Szoboszlai has been Liverpool's best player of the season so far, solving several problems for head coach Arne Slot along the way. The Hungary captain has played not only in his preferred attacking midfield position, but also at right back, defensive midfield, and even on the right wing. If every Reds player hit the consistent heights reached by Szoboszlai this season, then they would be a lot better off. Real Madrid wants Szoboszlai deal. With the playmaker out of contract in 2028, the time will soon come for sporting director Richard Hughes to make a decision over Szoboszlai. He and his team will be well aware of his worth in any negotiations, with the midfielder admitting last week that no progress had been made over a new deal. Currently earning around $150K per week, Szoboszlai is going to need a sizable increase in pay in order to take him in line with his peers in that position. And if the Anfield club are unwilling or unable to satisfy his contract demands, then there is a chance for interested clubs to strike a deal. Liverpool paid £60 million for Szoboszlai to RB Leipzig back in 2023 and would be set against losing him on a free in 2028. Klopp tipped to take over. And if no agreement is struck, then they could be left with no option other than to cut his Liverpool stay short. Real Madrid are now waiting in the wings, according to a report in Defensa Central. The Hungarian footballer has risen to the top of Real Madrid's transfer target list, the report reads. Furthermore, Florentino Perez would be willing to pay up to €90 million for him, provided Liverpool are open to negotiations and the player requests it. It was Jurgen Klopp who signed Szoboszlai for Liverpool 3 years ago, and the German has been tipped heavily to take over at the Bernabeu next summer. The German, who is now strongly linked with the Real Madrid job next season, was largely responsible for the player ending up at Liverpool, the report continues. Madrid are crying out for midfield quality, and Szoboszlai would no doubt add exactly that to their squad. Hughes has been warned. Perez and Klopp lie in wait if contract talks don't go well.
News headline: Liverpool insider confirms 2 major new signings are coming. Liverpool completed $450 million worth of transfer spending last summer. Sporting director Richard Hughes broke the British transfer record for Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, while blockbuster moves were also done for the likes of Milos Kerkez, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong, Giovanni Leone, and Georgi Mamardashvili. But the indications are that the Premier League champions aren't stopping their spending anytime soon. The January window may well have been frustrating for Liverpool fans hoping for new faces. Hughes and head coach Arne Slot were powerless to prevent Marc Guéhi and Antoine Semenyo joining Manchester City in big-money moves. Both were of interest to the Anfield side, with the club coming agonizingly close to adding Guéhi to the squad last summer. The finances were not right for a January Guéhi deal, while it now looks like City were Semenyo's first choice all along. But supporters should not be too downcast, as there are plans to recruit players in the center-back and forward positions come summer. That's according to a new report from Lewis Steele, who claims that Hughes's focus next summer will be defense and attack. Forward and defender will be signed. It seems unlikely that Liverpool will sign anyone this month, however nothing is certain in this life, so you fans can keep hoping, he writes. Liverpool had tried to sign 2 players who have ended up at Manchester City. They had been in talks with Antoine Semenyo's advisors since mid-autumn, and we know they were on the verge of signing Marc Guéhi in August, only for a deal to fall through. Losing out on both of those, whatever Slot or others at the club may say, is a big blow. The money did not make sense in the end for Guéhi, and Semenyo simply wanted to play under Pep Guardiola, so there are mitigating factors to both near misses, but either could have been fine signings. These 2 positions will both be in focus in the summer, too. El Malla and Diomande linked. Other central defenders recently linked with Liverpool include Micky van de Ven, Nico Schlotterbeck, and Alessandro Bastoni. Up top, meanwhile, we could see moves made for a versatile wing option the shape of Jan Diomande, while fellow Bundesliga rising star Said El Malla is also in focus.
News headline: Arne Slot confirms worst transfer fears that Liverpool fans didn't want to hear. Liverpool spent big in the summer, but Arne Slot is seemingly happy with his lot going into the second half of the season, as he confirmed his club's strategy for the rest of the transfer window. Arne Slot doesn't expect Liverpool to make any new signings before the end of the transfer window. The Reds splashed out a record-breaking £449 million in the summer, but they've kept the purse strings tight so far this month and haven't offloaded any senior players. With 11 days until the window slams shut on Monday, February 2nd, Slot has told fans not to expect any arrivals. Ahead of Saturday's trip to Bournemouth in the late kickoff, the Liverpool manager confirmed, "I expect there to be no movement. But if there's an opportunity in the market and we think we can strengthen the squad, this club will always try to do so. But at this moment in time, no." Liverpool have mostly been linked with centre-backs, with Ibrahima Konate out of contract in June and Giovanni Leone having suffered a season-ending injury. Marc Guéhi, who the Reds were closing to signing on deadline day in September, has joined Manchester City in a deal worth up to £30 million. Shortly after Slot's press conference came to an end, it emerged that Liverpool are in talks with Tottenham to sell Andy Robertson. The Athletic report that Spurs have brought forward their plan to compete for the long-serving left-back, 31, as a free agent when his contract expires. Slot's side have drawn their last 4 Premier League games, but enjoyed a confidence-boosting 3-0 win away to Marseille in the Champions League on Wednesday. With 4th place theirs to lose, Slot is very confident that Liverpool will take more wins in the second half of the season. "We are in a very good place," the Dutchman affirmed, "but sometimes in football you can pick up injuries from nowhere. I didn't expect not to have Leone, Alexander Isak, and Connor Bradley not available for such a long time. We have shown if we have players fit, we are very competitive against any time. There is a lot of confidence for me looking to the future." One summer signing who's beginning to find his feet is ex-Bournemouth star Milos Kerkez, who Slot praised. Milos and a lot of signings we have made, you can see the progression they are making in terms of adjustment to team and also power. Not a lot of times Milos has played twice a week, but he's getting stronger and stronger. He did really well in Marseille. He is improving. If you look at the age of our signings, they will be better second half of season, but also next season and season after that. He is improving, but not always him. We have to make sure the others are at their level as well. Fellow new face Jeremy Frimpong is also improving on the right of defense, as Slot added, One of the reasons Jeremy has played so many games is that he was the only player available on the right for a bit until Mo came back. He is quite an intense player in that when he runs, he's sprinting. We have to take good care of him to keep him available. He has had a big impact in the games he's played. That's why we were disappointed he was unavailable so long. He showed the importance of being able to take players on in Marseille.
News headline: Tom Brady at risk of losing Liverpool star as January transfer decision awaits. Liverpool is weighing up another loan move for Koumas as it's expected that his stint at Birmingham City will be cut short. In August, Koumas agreed to a season-long loan with the championship side, attracting attention from several clubs, including Wrexham, the team co-owned by Hollywood superstar Ryan Reynolds. Koumas, 20, has made 25 appearances this season and started the last 3 league matches, netting his first goal for Birmingham in the 3-2 victory over Coventry earlier this month. However, Birmingham, where American football icon Tom Brady holds a minority stake, has already been active in the current transfer window, securing Danish striker August Prisky on a permanent deal and Brighton left-winger Ibrahim Osman on loan. As such, Liverpool is preparing for Koumas' return to Anfield and anticipates that he'll be a loan target for numerous clubs for the remainder of the season, including some from the Championship. Koumas, who enjoyed a successful loan spell in the second tier with Stoke last season, is eager for regular game time to boost his chances with the Welsh national team. Wales has a great chance of qualifying for this year's World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Craig Bellamy's players face Bosnia and Herzegovina in a playoff in Cardiff in March. If they win that game, they'll play the winner of Italy's clash with Northern Ireland, again in Cardiff, for a place at the World Cup. Koumas, a product of Liverpool's academy, scored on his senior debut for the Reds in their FA Cup victory over Southampton in February 2024. He was also named on the bench for the League Cup triumph over Chelsea that same month. The youngster's dad is Jason Koumas, who played for both West Brom and Wigan in the Premier League during his career. Liverpool has already taken steps to bring back several players from loan this month. James McConnell, James Balagizi, and Owen Beck have all returned to the club. However, Luke Chambers will remain on loan at Championship outfit Charlton for the remainder of the season, having overcome a lengthy back injury.
News headline: Liverpool predicted team versus Bournemouth as 5 players could miss out. Liverpool faces Bournemouth in the Premier League this weekend, and Arne Slot could name an unchanged team after a 3-0 win over Marseille in the Champions League. Liverpool can consolidate its place in the top 4 with a victory at Bournemouth on Saturday. The Reds go into the game on a 13-game run, having also registered an impressive 3-0 victory away to Marseille in the Champions League in midweek. Arne Slot is unlikely to make many changes to the team that romped to victory in southern France, with a lack of options in defense limiting the Dutchman's capacity to rotate. Jeremy Frimpong should continue at right back owing to Connor Bradley's unavailability, while Milos Kerkez is likely to continue in the team at left back after displaying good form of late. The recent sad passing of Ibrahima Konaté's father means that he remains unavailable, so Joe Gomez looks set to continue alongside Virgil van Dijk in the center of defense. Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai, Florian Wirtz, and Hugo Ekitike virtually always start when available, while Mohamed Salah will also likely keep his place. The most obvious tweak to the front 6 would see Curtis Jones come in for Alexis McAllister, who does benefit from having his minutes managed. Slot's team news update. Arne Slot could be without 5 players against Bournemouth. As well as Konaté's absence, Federico Chiesa is a doubt, while Giovanni Leone, Connor Bradley, and Alexander Isak are all long-term absentees. Federico wasn't able to be on the bench on Wednesday, Slot said as he gave a team news update during a press conference at the AXA training center on Friday. There was a recovery session yesterday, so we have to wait and see today, Slot told the media at his pre-match press conference on Friday morning. It's difficult for me to say whether he is available for Bournemouth. We don't expect him to be out for long, so it would be 50-50 maybe if he is available for tomorrow. I spoke to Konaté a few times. I think these are private matters and they should stay between us. It's very obvious that if something like that happens, a player needs time to be there for his family and also time for himself. Slot added, "For the rest, at this moment in time, no one picked up a knock, no one had a problem after the game. But sometimes when you start training again, you can feel something. But I expect all the same players to be available for tomorrow. And Calvin Ramsey is a player who is not available for the Champions League, but will be available for the Premier League. So that's another player to add." Mohamed Salah's Liverpool exit now inevitable as transfers fall into place. Mohamed Salah continues to be courted by Saudi Pro League clubs, and although he has reconciled with Arne Slot, there is a renewed confidence that he will leave Liverpool. Powerful figures in Saudi Arabian football are increasingly confident that Mohamed Salah will leave Liverpool in the summer transfer window. Salah has been through a turbulent patch with Liverpool manager Arne Slot, and while a move this month is now off the cards, a decision on his future will be taken at the end of the season. Salah has long been linked with a big-money move to Saudi Arabia, and speculation grew in December after he very publicly fell out with Slot. The Egyptian accused Slot of throwing him under the bus during a poor period of form for the team, and the possibility of an exit in January appeared likely. However, Salah's time away from Liverpool while playing for Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations gave both sides time to consider their positions, and the air has now been cleared. Salah went straight into the starting lineup for the Reds' 3-0 win over Marseille upon his return on Wednesday, and things have settled down. The Saudi football gold rush is showing signs of slowing down, with a handful of the stars lured from Europe's top leagues now looking to return. But Salah holds a completely different status as the most high-profile Muslim player in the world, and top Saudi sides remain interested. The I paper quotes a source from the country who feels a summer transfer for Salah from Liverpool to the Saudi Pro League is inevitable. It was previously reported that Al Hilal, Al Qadisa, and Niam were interested in signing Salah, while Pro League chief Omar Mugarbel has publicly stated that he is welcome in the division. The Telegraph have reported that Salah and Vinicius Jr. are the two primary targets for the league, with Sadio Mane, Fabinho, N'Golo Kante, and Karim Benzema all potentially moving on in 2026. There is a feeling that the Pro League will need to make a splash in the summer transfer window to maintain their momentum. That sense will only build if Kante and Ruben Neves leave Saudi Arabia this month. Ex-CS midfielder Kante is in talks to join Fenerbahce from Al Ittihad, while ex-Wolves star Neves has been linked to Manchester United, among other clubs. Meanwhile, the Saudi Pro League is also aware of the competition from the Qatari Stars League, which has already attracted Roberto Firmino, Marco Verratti, and Julian Draxler. Salah is under contract with Liverpool until June 2027 after signing an extension worth £350,000 a week at the end of last season. Liverpool rejected a £150 million offer from Al Ittihad in September 2023 and have consistently insisted he is going nowhere. And Slot was full of praise for his professionalism after the win in Marseille. It says a lot about how big a professional he is that he can be away for more than a month with a different team and be so fit to play 90 minutes for us after one day of training, said Slot. He was so close to a goal. It would usually be a goal from him, but it didn't harm us because we scored 3.
News headline: Liverpool already has Andy Robertson replacement as Tottenham seeks transfer. Liverpool is in talks with Tottenham over the potential sale of Andy Robertson this month, with the club possessing the option to recall Kostas Tsimikas from his Roma loan. While Liverpool holds transfer discussions with Tottenham regarding Andy Robertson, the club's next move following the Scotsman's potential departure seems increasingly evident. Friday's development came shortly after Arne Slot acknowledged he anticipates no fresh arrivals before the January transfer window shuts. Yet Liverpool is engaged in early-stage negotiations to offload its vice-captain to Spurs, conscious that his current deal is set to run out at the season's end. The club has yet to reach a final verdict on whether an agreement will be struck. Robertson, who has secured several major honors since his 2017 arrival at Anfield, recently disclosed that talks over a fresh Liverpool contract have been taking place, though no conclusion has been reached. Crucially, the Reds are unlikely to sanction the 31-year-old's exit if it would leave them lacking depth in his position. Robertson has been a consistent starter throughout his Anfield tenure, but he has now been displaced by 22-year-old Milos Kerkez, who arrived from Bournemouth last summer. That transfer also paved the way for Kostas Tsimikas to seal a season-long loan to Roma on summer deadline day. On Friday morning, Slot indicated that Liverpool should anticipate a quiet 11 days before the January window shuts, with no new signings on the horizon.
"That's what I expect," the head coach explained. "But I always say if there's an opportunity in the market and we think we can strengthen the squad, this club will always try to do so. But at this moment, it stays mainly the same." Consequently, this would leave Liverpool with just one viable option for reinforcing the left-back position should Robertson's move to Spurs be finalized this month. The Reds hold the option to bring back Tsimikas from his Roma loan. The Greek defender could offer support for Koumas for the rest of the 2025-26 season, though he would need to recover from a challenging period in Italy. The 29-year-old has featured in only 8 starts and 16 matches overall for Gianpiero Gasperini's team. The former Olympiacos defender was drawing attention from Premier League clubs, including Nottingham Forest and Leeds, before his Serie A transfer was confirmed last September. Transfer speculation elsewhere suggested his spell at Roma could be shortened to facilitate a temporary move to numerous interested English clubs before the January window closes. Nevertheless, a verdict on Robertson's future would need to be reached before Tsimikas makes any final decision. Last month, Tsimikas confessed he longs for life on Merseyside for a multitude of reasons. "You never know. The most important thing for me is to be healthy, to train hard, to play more games. Next year is a different story for me. I want to be successful. I want to win things. Only God knows what will happen in the next year," he told The Athletic. "I miss the city of Liverpool. I lived there for 5 years. I love everything in Liverpool. They have a special part of my heart. The people are very kind, some of the kindest I've ever met in football. They'd always try to support the team. In good, in bad, they would always do their best to try to help you. I want everything for this club, because from day one I was fully committed there. I was the Greek Scouser, and I always will be. I'll keep it for my whole life."
News headline: Liverpool ready to rival Man U for their top summer transfer target. Liverpool and Manchester United are both expected to try and sign Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace in the summer after watching the midfielder earn England honors. Liverpool and Manchester United look likely to be on a collision course this summer, with both clubs plotting a huge move for Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton. Wharton, 21, has a host of Premier League suitors after stepping up from the Championship with ease since his $18 million switch from Blackburn Rovers 2 years ago. And with Marc Guéhi joining Manchester City and Jean-Philippe Mateta now agitating for a move, there's a chance Wharton could be the next high-profile player departure. Interest in Wharton among the top flight's elite has already been well established, with United known to be among those who would like to land him. Liverpool would also be keen on signing the playmaker if Palace are ready to cash in, say the Mail. It could take a fee of around $80 million to convince them to do business, such as the interest in the midfielder. While the champions are admirers of Wharton, their focus in the transfer market will be on adding a central defender after missing out on Guéhi back in the summer. Tottenham's Micky van de Ven is another Premier League star they are keen on. Wharton's future is likely to be thrust into the spotlight at the end of the season, and it's expected Manchester United will be in the conversation as they plot an overhaul of their midfield. Palace already know head coach Oliver Glasner will leave the club at the end of his contract, and comments from Steve Parish last month would seem to indicate they are also braced for interest in some of their top stars. Speaking to The Athletic, he said, "We've got one eye on players who we might have to replace in the summer. We're not going to throw it all on red and have a massive problem. Unless you want to be in a situation where you're constantly putting in money every year, there's a cash limit to what you can spend. You can't spend money you don't have. You have to have some guardrails as a club, or you'll build up big problems down the track. Everyone saw where prices went in the summer. It's a difficult landscape. There wasn't the right thing available at the right time when the finances were in place. There's no point in doing something for the sake of it. How are you going to get someone to come and tell them they are number one in Ebb's position if you still have him? The one where we didn't, with Mark, we kept him. You can't always make happen what you want to. We are where we are in the pecking order. You could ask why other clubs make bids for our players 2 weeks before the end of the window. I don't know why they did that." Liverpool to hold priority talks for Micky van de Ven as Andy Robertson closes on Tottenham's switch. Liverpool will have the advantage over rivals in the race to sign Micky van de Ven if Reds icon Andy Robertson completes a move to Tottenham, per reports, with talks over a transfer for the left-back advancing. Arne Slot's side had not expected to be overly busy in this month's transfer window, following a summer in which they spent close to £450 million. However, in a shock development earlier today, reliable journalist David Ornstein revealed that Tottenham are working on a deal to sign Liverpool left-back Robertson. Fellow respected reporter Fabrizio Romano has backed up those claims, and everything points towards the Scottish international completing the switch. But a shock report suggests that the transfer could play into Liverpool's hands, with a move for Spurs star Van de Ven under consideration. Liverpool line up Van de Ven's swoop. Tottenham's move for Robertson will reportedly put Liverpool in pole position to sign Van de Ven. If Liverpool allow Andy Robertson to leave for Spurs in January, they will have an agreement with Spurs for priority talks over Van de Ven in the summer, it stated. The report comes from an account on X with over 700,000 followers, which claims to be run by a team of 5 elite reporters. Our transfer insider, Graham Bailey, revealed in an update yesterday, January 22nd, that Liverpool are indeed among the Dutch defender's admirers, along with Manchester United. Bailey also noted how negotiations over a contract extension for Van de Ven at Tottenham have been put on hold amid the London club's poor form. However, to the contrary of reports today, we understand that Spurs will make it as difficult as possible for clubs to sign Van de Ven. Spurs will demand a minimum of £100 million for the centre-back, and as things stand, he remains a key part of the long-term plans. Liverpool may well make a move for Van de Ven, as they are still keen to reinforce their defense, but they will need to pay the biggest fee in football history for a defender to get him. And in any case, it is highly unlikely he goes anywhere this month. Andy Robertson to Spurs latest. Ornstein's exclusive stated that talks for Tottenham to sign Robertson from Liverpool on a permanent deal are advancing between all parties. Sky Germany's Florian Plettenberg and, as mentioned, Romano have backed up his information. Plettenberg wrote on X, Tottenham Hotspur are now pushing to sign Andy Robertson with immediate effect. Understand, a verbal agreement is done. Clubs are now in negotiations. With Robertson behind Milos Kerkez in Slot's pecking order, it appears he is now open to a Liverpool departure, something he decided against over the summer. Romano also suggests that the switch to Tottenham will indeed be completed imminently. Tottenham sent official bid for Andy Robertson as Liverpool and Spurs are in advanced talks for the left back, Romano posted on X. Negotiations well underway, with HTFC on it. Other reports suggest that Robertson will sign a 1.5-year contract with Spurs, running until the summer of 2027. Liverpool in contention to sign $100 million rated winger. In other news, Manchester United and Tottenham's reluctance to make a move for RB Leipzig winger Jan Diomande could reportedly lead to Liverpool securing his signature. The 19-year-old, who is earning rave reviews in Germany and also caught the eye with Ivory Coast at AFCON, is valued at a whopping €100 million /87 million by Leipzig. According to the latest from Sky Sports senior news editor Lyle Thomas, neither Tottenham nor Man U plan to bid for Diomande in the final days of the winter window. Another reliable journalist, the Daily Mail's Lewis Steele, has confirmed that Diomande is on the Reds' radar and he will be a name to watch closely in the summer.